Hi, Dr. Jenna here again from Heart-Based Medicine. I wanted to tell you some more about my experience, which I talked about in my first video on the Navajo reservation. I was really blessed to be able to go out and spend the summer between my second and third year of medical school and work on the Navajo reservation with the doctors that were working there. Again, most people didn't have vacations between second and third year, and most second-year medical students would not have been allowed to work with other doctors out there because they wouldn't have had the knowledge. Luckily, I had spent my first summer working with an amazing GP in a rural setting, so I'd gotten some skills from him. I was really pleased to have those skills. So I went out to the Navajo reservation. My main reason for going out was to continue some research I was doing on looking at tuberculosis screening. And the Navajo reservation had a high risk of tuberculosis, so I was continuing a research project there. Now, when I got there, I had pretty much a white man's definition of health. And in working there, I realized that there's a whole nother definition of health, and that's what these amazing people taught me. They have a prayer that they use, or a saying, and I'd like to read that to you just to give you an idea. I walk in beauty. With beauty before me I walk. With beauty behind me I walk. With beauty above me I walk. With beauty around me I walk. I have become beauty. It has become beauty again. Now, definition of health being walking in beauty, being in harmony with nature, being in harmony with your tribe. That was completely different than what I was being taught in medical school. I was having classes in pathology, endocrinology, microbiology, anatomy, but nobody was talking to me about beauty. Nobody was talking to me about harmony and what health really looked like. We were looking at the body as a sick system instead of looking at the body as a place to come back to harmony. Now, when I was working in the emergency room there, I would see people come in and they would be in a comatose state. Now, a comatose state means that they're not responding. They're breathing, their heart's beating, but they're just not responding. We could do anything we tried in the Western medical system and nothing would work. So on that reservation, what we then did was we called in the medicine man. Now again, very unusual for Western medicine. But the medicine man would come in, they would do their ceremony, we weren't allowed in the room, and that person would actually get up and walk out of the emergency room. Now that astonished me as a medical student. I had to completely rethink my definition of health. I also would see people there who had had surgery. Now the Navajo or the Dene people did not have a word for pain in their traditional language. They also didn't have words for body parts. So I would go out to my rural clinic and I'd have my translator with me. I'd say to the person in front of me, "Do you have an earache?" 15 minutes later, the translator would turn back to me and say, "No." And I looked at him. I said, "Why did that take 15 minutes? He said to me, and he was an amazing man, he was one of the code talkers from World War II. And if you don't know anything about the code talkers, please look it up, an amazing story of courage and bravery. So he would tell me, there are no words for ear. I had to explain what an ear was on a sheep and tell them that that's what I was asking about. Then I had to describe to them what pain was till I could get an answer to your question. So again, white woman asking a very wrong question that was not actually getting to what this person's problem was. Anyways, I digress a bit. So I'd see people that have surgery. A lot of times their gallbladder's taken out because of their high-fat diets. They would lay in the bed like they were dead, literally just lay there, not move. They would eat, they would drink, but they would not move. You'd ask them if they were in pain. Again, if they were over the age of 50, back in those days, they didn't speak English, so they didn't understand what pain was. We would then have the medicine man come in when it was time for them to be discharged. The medicine man would do a ceremony. They would literally get up out of bed and go home, completely healed. That, again, blew my mind. And I had to go back to medical school after that summer and really start questioning everything about what I was being taught. Yes, I needed that scientific background, but these people, their beauty, taught me that health is something much deeper than just having a normal blood pressure or a normal blood count or not having cancer. Health was about beauty. It was about harmony. And that started me on my journey for a long time until I actually got my degree in holistic health in 2001. So I am so grateful to the Dene people and for them allowing me to see these things and to work with them. That changed everything I knew about medicine and made me a much better doctor.